Hello, everybody. We're glad you're here. We're just going to wait a few minutes, a few seconds at least, to see if some stragglers come aboard. We will not wait long. We'll be careful with your time. So we're glad you're here. I'll introduce the others in a minute as well, in case others come on. But with us today, presenting Scott Heima is here. You probably know Scott, President of Christian Service Brigade Ministries. Truman Abbott's with us. You don't know Truman. He's a consultant and fundraising and marketing guy for Champion Event Groups. And I'm Sam Richpart with Camp Hickory Hill. I'll introduce us again in a few seconds. Just giving everybody a chance to get on. We're glad you're here today. Thanks for taking time. Beautiful, beautiful day, beautiful evening. Are we the three? Is that what you said? Well, I thought you said three.
Oh, no.
We're talking. Ignore all that. Nobody's there?
Well, it's going to be broad. We'll be able to watch this later because it's everything now is going to be saved onto our YouTube channel.
So they can hear me doing this too now.
Correct.
Should we start again?
Well, we'll start again in a minute.
Yeah. Okay, that's right. So we can present this. We go ahead and present this all the way out.
Right now, I'm presenting. We're gonna wait. We're gonna wait a little bit for more people to come on because we can see how many viewers are here. We actually can't see any names, but as soon as this broadcast is complete, it will be uploaded and saved to our YouTube channel. So we didn't want to let anybody know that they could watch this later because we wanted you live here. But anybody that did miss it, we can send them the link to it. Now, hopefully, everybody was able to find the link that I did send out. Sam sent it to golfers that were last year. I sent to those that signed up, as well as those of you through our Iron Sharpens Iron connection card indicated that you wanted some more information about our ISI Golf Classic. There was approximately 7 of you from our Buffalo and our Rochester conferences. We might as well take the time to introduce Truman. Truman is in Denver. Do you still have much snow, Truman?
I still have about 8 or 10 inches on the ground. It's starting to melt pretty good.
What'd you have?
70 degrees. 15.
How much?
At 15.
Wow.
And it was snowing a little bit this morning, but the sun's come out and it's going to heat up, and in a couple days it'll all be gone, hopefully.
Get rolling here. Sorry about the slow start there, but we're glad you are here on the webinar or watching the recorded version later on. Thank you for joining us. If you missed the introductions, just very quickly, Scott Heima will be presenting today. Scott is the president of Christian Service Brigade. Many of you know him, if not all of you, from Iron Sharpens Iron and Brigade events and camp events. We're so happy to have Truman Abbott here as well, consultant and fundraising and marketing expert with Champion Event Groups. He's in Denver, Colorado, and we're so glad he's here. And I'm Sam Richbart, the director of Camp Hickory Hill, and I'm glad to share with you today. Now, technology is kind of a lot of fun, but it's also sometimes kind of crazy, and we're not sure if everything's going to work real smoothly. We're going to do our best. We've got about 4 cameras going here, and a lot of mics going, and there's video, and there's PowerPoint, and Lord willing, it'll all come together. If any time during the webinar you have a question, there over in the left, slide your cursor over the left side of the screen. There's a Q&A button there. If you click on that, it'll open up a panel to the right where you can ask a question, and one of us will try to respond to you during the presentation. We are looking forward to our 2nd annual Iron Sharpens Iron Golf Classic on Monday, June 6th, and we hope that all of you will be there. And it's going to be a great day. It's at the Tager Country Club, and the registration time is at 9 a.m. and with the golf starting at 10 a.m. That'll be the slide 3, Scott, if you could. So we hope you're all there and enjoy that day with us on Monday, June 6th. Let's open in prayer and then turn it over to Scott. Let's pray. Our Lord and Heavenly Father, we thank you for the ministries of Camp Hickory Hill and Christian Service Brigade. Thank you for what these ministries have done in the lives of so many of us. Just thank you so much for what you've done. And Father, as we prepare for this fundraiser, we pray, Lord, that you would use the individuals that you have picked out to help raise funds, to provide necessary funds for 2 very special things. And as we go through the presentation, we'll highlight those. But Lord, we pray that you would bring in the funds to take care of those things. Thank you, Father. In Jesus' name, amen.
Thank you, Sam. Today, most of you are probably in New York. You know, our Iron Sharpens Iron are held in Buffalo and Rochester, and the Golf Classic itself will be held in the Batavia area. Sometimes we do have some of those of you joining us from Canada, but today is primary day in New York State, so hopefully you've already gone out and voted. I did early this morning, but you look at the candidates, you look at everything that's happening in society today, and you think, what is going on? You know, you look at all of the candidates on your ballot, and you say none of the above. And things that are happening in our culture seem to be shifting in a direction probably further away that most of us would admit to caring to. And it's happening fairly quickly. And the news hasn't been good, especially for boys and young men. You know, we grew up in a culture that sends definitely mixed signals on what's going on. You know, North Carolina has been in the news quite a bit lately with the transgender and the bathroom issue. Many have been pulling out of doing business with North Carolina, and it sends mixed signals to our boys and our young men about what a true man really is. And we need to be a whole lot more clear on our godly definitions of gender. And did you know that 1 out of 3 children growing up in our country today grow up without a biological father in the home? And it is becoming an epidemic in our society that children are growing up fatherless. And we need to really provide a good biblical perspective to boys and young men so that when they get the age of accountability, they get the age of manhood, that they've got roots deep enough so that when the world throws things at them, and we know the world will, when they start throwing things at them, they're going to be able to stand their ground. We have a quick video for you. It's from our Northern California and Oregon and Washington Regional Director, David Gregg. And I will let him explain his story to you. The video is Fatherless No More.
as we said, technology is tricky, and Scott's getting that video ready. It's the brigade ministry and camp ministry does a lot to reach out to those kids that need to have male figures in their life. And this video will show you that. We'll talk about that.
I grew up in a home, single mom home, with a twin brother and a half brother who's 9 years older. And obviously, it's important that the presence or absence of a father in a young man's life when he grows up is important. I don't even think that in our family's case that it was that she recognized, my mom recognized that she needed somebody to work with her. It really was in the providence of God that had been working in my grandmother's life. So when she was, I think, in the 50s, I was 9. My grandma got married to a godly man. And this was the first man, by the way, in the life of either my grandmother or my mother who could be described as genuinely godly. Up to that point, that was not the case at all. And one of the things that he recognized really fast was, as we looked at my twin brother and myself, he recognized, as he put it, this was a disaster waiting to happen. And so I don't think he really felt equipped to be the man himself, but he immediately told my mom, in no uncertain terms, you need to get your boys involved in the CSB, the Christian Service Brigade program at their church. And I didn't understand all the stuff that was going on in the background. All I knew was that we were going to go to this group. I honestly don't even remember the first time I went, but I remember loving it from the first time that we were there. And that was the first time where I got to interact consistently with godly men. I can honestly say, without a shadow of a doubt, that decision that my grandfather had any clear, dramatic and impactful the rest of the course of my life. That decision to involve us in that ministry with those men was the most pivotal moment in my life thus far. I saw men that I wanted to become like. And because it wasn't just one man, too, it was a whole host of guys, I was able to see strengths and weaknesses and gifts and abilities and really draw upon a whole host of different attributes, fruits of the Spirit, that I wanted to emulate. I realize as I look back now that there's no way I would have had an idea of what it means to disciple my own son were it not for the men who weren't my fathers, but nevertheless chose to disciple me, showing me what it means for a father to disciple a son. For more than 75 years, Christian Service Brigade has been coming alongside the men in the local church to both help them evangelize, but also to disciple the next generation of men. Christian Service Brigade learned a long time ago how boys like to learn and what it means to disciple boys and young men. And part of that is through what we call an activity-driven process. So you're actually learning while you're doing stuff. We think that that's a lot like what Jesus did. As he was walking along doing things with his disciples, he would take those opportunities to help instruct them and lead them and show them and be an example to them. If you're interested in learning more about our ministry, I'd encourage you to go to csbministries.org, csbministries.org. Take a look. You can connect with us, ask a few questions. There's resources there specifically designed to help you learn a little bit more about our ministry and how you might actually be a part of discipling the next generation.
All right, wonderful.
Fans are the best part of the story. They're the reason the show's unbearable.
Yeah, we don't want to hear Taylor Swift, do we? That was what was coming up there after that play. But Christian Service Brigade is a cornerstone ministry of CSB Ministries, and it really provides a solution to what David mentioned, what's going on in our society. The vision statement that for CSB Our vision really is seeing godly men taking responsibility to serve, lead, and disciple not just the next generation, but each generation. We are definitely a men's ministry where men come together, work shoulder to shoulder, and as they're sharpening each other, as iron sharpens iron states, where the older iron is sharpening the younger iron. And as David mentioned, our boys and young men, we know how they like to learn, and they thrive in an environment where they can work hands-on. And so let me switch for a minute to show you some specific resources that we're working on, because we've got a goal to raise $40,000 this year. And last year we came, maybe close to halfway of that. But I want to show you some of the resources that we've got, because we know young men like to learn with their hands on. And this is a small engines guide from our battalion leaders guide. Battalion is our age group from 12 to 18. And remember again where I stated our vision is godly men taking responsibility to serve, lead, and disciple each generation. And our resources are designed to not just teach them about small engines, but we're teaching them specific character trait. Just like Deuteronomy 6 and 7 state that God is instructing the people, the Israelites back then, to impress upon your children when you're sitting down, when you're standing up, and when you're walking along the road. And that's all day long. It's like the classroom of learning. So bear with me a minute as I do a screen share here. And I get this ready to show you some of our bear with me real quick.
While Scott's getting us ready here, the fundraising, the money that comes in for fundraising will go to two different goals. And the first thing it's going towards is development of curriculum and improving the curriculum in the Christian Service Brigade area for battalion guys.
Okay, what we have up on the screen now is small engines. Okay, we have approximately in our battalion age group 30 leaders guides, and what these leaders guides do is they provide hands-on activities. And as the boys think we're really teaching them about small engines, we're teaching them about teamwork. We're teaching them about compassion. And here it shows our leaders guides that were probably developed in the 1990s, maybe the year early 2000s. But I think that they possibly were in the late 1990s. So this gives you an example of this. Now let me show you what from the golf outing last year. This is our current and updated small engine leaders guide, and you can see here we've got graphics that are a little bit more up to date and modern. Now these are leaders guides. These aren't necessarily for the young men, but our vision remember our vision is godly men taking responsibility to serve, lead, and disciple. And so we want to make it as easy as possible for the man, as he's mentoring and discipling the boys and the young men, make it as easy as possible for him to do what he needs to do and give him the tools. So here is just a very quick example of how the money that was raised in last year's golf outing has been put into place. And this is a redo because this is such a good lesson, and we've got many that we're going to redo, but we've got probably another 12 to 15 brand new modules that we'll be putting it in this very format.
Great. So that's where some of your funds are going to as you help fundraise. The other area is for camper scholarships. Camp Hickory Hill, our goal is to build godly families for today and tomorrow. And a huge part of our ministry is the summer camp ministry. The guys come in July and girls come in August. We keep the genders separate. And last year you helped provide funds so that we were able to get lots of kids to camp. Every year we give away more than $15,000 in scholarships. Last year it was even higher because of what you did, what golfers last year did in helping raise support. We had a number of kids that we could bring last year because of the extra funds. One group of kids were from the city of Lockport. We had 8 boys one week that came from the city of Lockport. We had, I think it was 3 girls that came. And again, they could not come without the help of someone providing funds for them to be there. And we thank you for that. And these guys loved it and grew. The girls, the same thing. And it's just a great use of the funds to help them. And there are others as well. What we want to do is more funds will bring more kids to camp, means more ministry, reaching out. And I want to show you a quick video that shows the power of camp. The power of camp, and many of us have experienced that. We know it's the power of God, what He does in a place like camp, at a summer camp, at a retreat. We know that often when we get there and things slow down, that's when finally kids or adults listen to what they've heard before, and oftentimes real decisions are made when they come to camp like that.
And I'm going to show you.
Here we got another video coming for you by accident. There we go. Good. All right. Now we're going to turn our attention to the golf event itself. Just to remind you that it's Monday, June 6th, when we're going to be golfing at Batavia Country Club. It's a scramble format, shotgun start. Everybody gets a golf cart. Everybody gets lunch. A wonderful steak dinner. We're going to start at 9 a.m. gathering together, getting registered, and getting all set to go. 10 a.m. will be the tee time. There'll be lots of prizes. There'll be a longest drive contest, closest to the pin contest. We're going to try to make this the second year in a row where someone gets a hole in one. You'll be able to purchase mulligans and strings as to help your team score, get better. It's a lot of fun and for a great cause. And we're going to put up here, try to show you the PowerPoint slide again and show you that our goal, and I think Scott said it earlier, our goal is to raise $40,000 for each ministry, cut in half, $20,000 per ministry. That's our goal. And we know that this is something that with people like you helping out, this can really take place. And we'll get more kids to summer camp, more kids making decisions for Christ, more kids becoming leaders in the brigade program, more young men growing and learning and becoming leaders for Him because of what you've helped to invest in. right now we'd like to turn it over to Truman. And again, if you missed this before, I'll say Truman Abbott is in Denver, Colorado. He's with Champion Events Groups, and he's wonderful, has a lot of knowledge of how this works, and we're glad you're here, Truman, with us to share. One second, Truman, we're going to get you there. We're not hearing you yet. 1 second.
You're muted, Truman, if you could unmute yourself.
How's that? Is that better?
There you go.
Okay. If you'll go to the next slide, for all the guys that are watching, we have some fundraising incentives for you, and I'll get down to the fundraising part of it versus pay to play a little bit later. But you can kind of see here that you raise so much money, you get a different incentive or a different prize if you reach that level. The first one, if you raise $750, it's a fun night with a $75 gift card to your favorite family and in activity, bowling, go-karts, laser tag, etc. Then a shopping spree with $1,000, get $100 gift card if you raise $1,000. If you raise $1,500, you get a 3-day, 2-night voucher for vacation. And one of the spots listed below, there are places like Orlando. What's the golf place in North Carolina? Marble Beach, or it's like I can't think of the one that's in North Carolina, but it's a golf place. You can go to Branson, Missouri. You can go to Sedona, Arizona. You can go to Utah. You can go to California, Mississippi, Nevada, Texas, a number of different places. And then if you raise $2,500, you have a 4-day, 3-night one. Orlando is also a real nice little spot you can go to. If we go to the next slide, guys. Okay, what do I do? How do I get involved? Here's how. Next slide. Okay, you're going to fill out a form that Scott's going to make available to you through a link, and then you're going to register for the event. You're going to sponsor yourself. We ask you to sponsor yourself for $100. We ask that you send out 30 or emails or text to friends, family, and coworkers asking them to support you. And then if you'll follow up with a phone call, your response will go from 30% up to about 90%. And that just makes all the difference in the world. And then the last part of it is to have a blast on June 6th with your second annual Iron Sharpens Iron Golf Classic. If you go to the next, this is how you sign up to become a fundraiser or to be a golfer. And you create your personal page. You find your password and keyword and share your choice. This you ought to be able to read. You may have to increase your view power to do it. But if you just follow that, you'll get there done and done very well. There's a link you can go to, http://csbministries.org/ISI/WMYG-golf/ and you'll have that given to you. So don't try to take all this down right at this time. And if you go to the next slide, the participants sign up instructions to register. You really text CSB to 71777 and just follow the online instructions. If you don't have a smartphone, you can type in the URL below to go to sign in online. And then again, you can register by going to the csbministries.org www website that I gave you to go for. Okay, if we go to the next one, this is kind of what they're going to look like. Don't try to write this stuff down. This is just a kind of a preview to show you. You have a goal over there set, and already we have $100. It's already been given. It's from one of the staff persons, and this will go up as people give. And so if you go to the next one, it just tells you what you're going to do on the next slide. And it says you register for event. You're going to click on the register now portion of the screen that comes up, and do the next slide. And then you can personalize this You can put your own photo in it. You can use the message that CSB uses, or you can personalize your message. You can import a video if you want to put on there where they can click and watch a video, and then you just save your changes when you get done doing this. Click. Okay, you want to get the word out. You're going to click and compose a message. You import contacts under recipient. If you're using your Outlook or another email server not listed, you just simply export your addresses to Excel CSV file, first name, last name, email address, making sure there are no blank spaces. Save the file from the send donor invitation screen and import that file into the contacts. Then you can send the message to your friends and your family. And it's better just to send them individually rather than try to send them all at once, but you can, because if you send them all together at the same time, then every time you send something to somebody, they're going to read it, all 30 of them are. So it's best to send them one at a time. It may take a few minutes, but it's well worth it. Okay, next one. Sponsoring yourself is very important. If you sponsor yourself, it really gives you the right to ask somebody else to sponsor you. And there's two ways that you're going to be able to participate in this golf tournament. You can pay to play, and it's $125 to pay to play. If you become a fundraiser, we give you a little break, and you get to sponsor yourself for $100. And you just do that by clicking on Make a Donation on your own event page. Click. Next page. And then this will say the registration type, and you can either check golfer, staff member, board member, corporate sponsor. And so if you're a golfer participant type, you just check that, and then you continue on to the next step. And we'll click that. And the fundraising goal, we've asked everybody to have a goal of $2,500. And you may think that that's kind of high if you're going to be a fundraiser, but you know what? When we did this, when I was doing this, when I was an administrator of a school, and we did this, I said, who's going to pay me to play golf? Well, I sent my Christmas card list out, so I sent a little bit more than 30, and I raised $3,100 with people that sent money to me just to sponsor us. We were raising money for our school to buy new technology equipment for the school. So don't let that $2,500 fool you or scare you. You just do your best. You let God do the rest. Click. Okay, now I want to take a minute and just share with you the difference between a pay-for-play golfer and a fundraising golfer. We're going to use an example of an entry fee of $100. We're going to say that you have, an entry fee of $100, and we're going to say that you have 100 golfers. Well, after you do your golf, your gift package, your meal package, cart, golf balls, you're going to spend about $80 on that, and you're going to make about 20, so you're going to get about $2,000, spending about 80%. The average fundraising golf tournament raises between $2,500 and $5,000 all over the country. Now, our idea is to use you as a fundraising golfer, and most of the fundraising golfers that use our platform raise between $1,500 and $1,700, but we'll take a low fundraising total of $1,100. The time you take your $100 and pay for your golf gift package, meals, awards, cart, and practice range balls, you would have made $20 profit per golfer. But a fundraising golfer, if you take that off, we just take $80 off. That means the profit is $1,020. So really, one fundraising golfer equals 50 to pay-to-play golfers. And there are three principles in fundraising. Number one, people give to people. And we all get 100 jillion emails or text messages, phone calls every week to give money to something. Most of those go in the round file. But if we get something from our nephew Bill, and he says, would you sponsor me? We're going to buy new glass backboards for our gym by doing a 5K walkathon. More than likely 9 out of 10 people will give to that nephew. And so it's relationship giving. People give to people. Next thing you have to do is ask, If you don't ask, the answer is always no. And then number 3 is ask for what you want. I have a story about a couple boys from University of Oklahoma were on the alumni fundraising committee, and they were asked to raise $500,000 for the alumni club, and they said, sure, we can do that. Well, they're juniors or seniors in college, and we can do anything when we're in college at that age, but somehow they got an appointment with Ross Perot, and they went down to Dallas to meet with him and went into his office, his desk set up on a little platform, so he was a little bit higher than they were, and kind of looking down at him. But here they are in this man's office, one of the richest guys around, and they presented their spiel to him, and they had planned to ask him for $250,000 and use that for matching funds. And they went through their spiel, and they said, Mr. Perot, do you suppose you could give us $250,000 for our alumni club at Oklahoma? Went dead silent for 50 or 60 seconds. And can you imagine how long that silence seemed like in that man's office? He finally took out his checkbook, wrote him a check, and handed it to him. And they said, thank you so very much. But he held on to the check, and he said, boys, I'm going to teach you a life lesson. Had you asked me for the $250,000 or the $500,000, I would have given it to you. But since you asked for $250,000, that's what I gave you, and now you have to go raise the other $250,000 on your own. Always ask for what you want. And I'll never forget that story. That's a pretty good deal. And it came to play with our president of the company when he had a friend in Dallas-Fort Worth area, and he was Don Carmichael, who is the CEO, said, hey, John, would you sponsor me? And he was going to ask him for $1,000, and John's goal was $10,000. And he thought about Ross Perot's story, and he says, do you suppose, John, you could sponsor me for the whole $10,000? Well, John thought for about 5 seconds. He said, Don, I can't do 10, but I can do 7,500. Would that be okay? And I thought, good point. So always ask for what you want. And then I want to ask you guys something. You know, a lot of you are going to pay to play. I'm going to ask you to take a step of faith and go out there and be a fundraiser. Because if you just send 30 emails or text messages or a snail mail for those people that don't use technology, just print off the letter and mail it to them, and each one of them gave you $25, and you sent 30 of them out, and all 30 of them answered you, that's $15,000. That's almost halfway there already. And if it was only $20, that's $10,000. And if it was only $15 that they got in, that's $7,500. So you see how it can go really quick. And so I'm going to ask you to pray about that and see what God would have you to do. And we'll go to the next slide now, guys. And we've already signed up. Well, that's Scott and Sam. They can tell you that was pretty easy. But if you need assistance with signing up, I do want you to write down this email and our phone number and contact Lauren Griffin for help. It's lauren.griffin@champevents.com. Her cell phone is 321-987-3011. She is the event coach for this event, and she will help you and walk you through how to sign up if you have any trouble. I've done it before, and let me tell you, as technology stressed as I am sometimes, I was able to do it without any problem. And so we'll leave this on the screen just for a minute so you can write the cell phone number down and the email down to get a hold of her. All right. Let's see here. Let's go to the next one.
Oops.
What we would have here would be a form that you would sign up for, and Scott's going to give you the form for that. And this is what it looks like. They're side by side. Scott may send it to you in a link that is vertical rather than horizontal. But this is what the form looks like. So go to the link, provide. There's also a tutorial that we may tag onto that. But we just ask you to sign up and give your best effort toward raising the goal of $2,500. And remember, you just do your best, let God do the rest. And if all you did was contact the people and ask them to give you $25 or $30 and sponsor you a piece, that would be okay. But if you'll contact them and say, I've sponsored myself for 100, would you match that? 9 out of 10 people will try to match that. Some people can't. And then you let them off the hook by saying, and if you can't do 100, would you do what you can? And that would help. Every little bit helps. And we are going to touch the lives of young men and young women and make a difference in this world. And so I thank you for taking time to listen to this. Scott, Sam, you can give them my phone number, my email, my text message stuff if you need to, and I'll be glad to talk to any of them. But thanks for taking this time. I know it was a little rough on this first time out for try, but not bad at all for first time out, guys.
Let me.
Thanks, Chairman.
Thank you, Chairman. We've got another video to show you here real quick.
This is from one of the golfers from last year that raised a good amount of money. Just explaining how he did it, how he helped out Brigade and Camp Ministries with not a lot of effort.
Hi, Justin Kennedy here, Battalion Captain from Brigade Unit 3698 in Hamburg, New York. I'm an avid golfer and looking forward once again to this year's ISI Golf fundraiser in June. Last year I was fortunate enough to be one of the top fundraisers, and with a lot of help from my teammates, we actually won the tournament too. So I wanted to share with you my fundraising strategy I follow with hopes that it'll help all of you with raising more funds for Camp Hickory Hill and Christian Service Brigade, an amazing partnership that we all know and love and would like to see continue to grow and reach more boys and bring them closer to Jesus. So my strategy was pretty simple. First of all, I simply emailed friends and family the online form, which makes it really easy for them to donate. In the email, I tell them a little about the ministry, what a great program CSB is, and what a fun Camp Hickory Hill is. Most importantly, though, I make it personal and remind them of how this program directly benefits my son, Gabe. Next, I reached out to friends, family, and coworkers that had recently hit me up for donations for their causes, such as Ride for Roswell, Tour to Cure, or even one of their child's school fundraisers. These people were great about remembering my donation and reciprocating with one of their own back to me. So reach out to your friends and family. Don't be afraid to ask. It's for a worthy cause. Good luck.
Now, I think Scott's going to be getting the commitment card link. It won't be actually a card, but it'll be something you can make your commitment right on the do it online.
Yes. Now, if you hover over to the left-hand side, you should see several different icons, and there's a yellow one that shows. I have to get my glasses on. Why struggle with this? All right. It looks like maybe a luggage tag or something. There's a yellow. Hover over to the left, and you click on that, and it's called Showcase. And so then over on the right-hand side of your screen, a Showcase window will pop up, and there is a link there that says ISI Golf Fundraiser. You can click on the words ISI Golf Fundraiser or the button that says More. And once you click on that, then it will then take you to the website that Truman gave you the URL for, CSB Ministries /ISI Western New York Golf, WNYGOLF. And on this page here, there are two sections. Tonight, we'd ask you to fill out a commitment form. You would click on the commitment form, and it would ask you a series of questions of what would your goal be. It was that last page that Truman showed you. And what would your goal be? And just pledging your commitment to it. Over on the right-hand side, you'll see where it says text CSB to 71777 to sign up as a fundraiser. If you don't have a smartphone, while you're on that page, you can just click right on the link and register online. Literally, it asks you 3 questions to get started, and then it sends you an email, and it will go. I think it asks you your name, an email address, and possibly your phone number, and then it's real simple to to sign up from there. So if you will click on that link over on the side, the showcase. Also over on the side where you're right below that is a blue button that says Q&A. You'll need that for the end. If you hover over the Q&A, you can ask Sam and I and Truman questions right now. We'll be able to see that. Also, at the end of this, we're going to be giving away a weekend getaway. So those of you that are participating with us, no commitment necessary, but we're going to ask you to go to the Q&A section and type in your name, your full name, and your contact, whether it be your email or your phone number, and we'll be doing a drawing for a weekend getaway for one of you viewers tonight.
Also on that website page that Scott talked about earlier, we're going to be putting up a tutorial video that if you have any questions on how to sign up to become a fundraiser for this golf fundraiser event, the tutorial will walk you through it. You probably won't even need that tutorial because once you get on the proper course, it just sort of takes care of itself, but the tutorial may help some of you. We wanted to mention real briefly that one of the parts of the fundraiser is also a corporate sponsor. There's ways for companies to get involved. We're going to have on every hole some signs that'll be sponsoring a ministry, a company. And so if you represent a company, a ministry, a business that would like to get involved with this, or if you know some, let us know. Let us know that we'll be happy to make the contacts. It's going to be $100 per sign for each hole, so with 18 holes representing 18 different companies. Also, on those signs, we're going to allow one company to sponsor the purchase of all the signs. And what's going to happen is that they will also have their company represented on that sign. So every sign will have two companies represented. The one that sponsors all 18, they'll be on the bottom of each one. They'll be there representing each one. And then the person that purchased that whole sign itself. We'll also have golf cart signs. Golf cart signs are also available. So companies that want to get involved, that want to make a donation to Camp and Brigade and also get their name out there, we have opportunities for that. Please let us know if you want to get involved in that, and please let us know if you suggest we contact some others.
Yeah, there is a place at the bottom of the commitment form that is on the site that I had mentioned. At the bottom of the commitment form, there's a place for you to put some contacts. Whether you don't have to ask the company that may represent you, just may know somebody, and Sam and I will contact them.
Okay. I think we've hit all of our agenda items.
Well, I'll go back to presenting. The technology, we try to keep switching back and forth here. Truman, do you have any final things before we do ask for names? You can, for those of you that are viewing, go over to the Q&A and put your names in, and we'll do the drawing.
I just want to say, guys, do your best, let God do the rest, and be a fundraiser, not just a player. Every little bit helps, and you never know the effect that you'll have on the life of a kid. I was standing in the bank the other day, and a kid looked at me and said, "Are you Mr. Abbott?" I said, "Yes." He says, "You know, they were watching stuff on TV the other night about people that made a difference in our lives, and when you took us backpacking into the mountains, and you told us about Jesus, I want you to know you made a difference in my life. I'm telling you, that happened 40 years ago, and it just made my day." So you never know what kind of lasting impression you'll have. Be a fundraiser. You do your best, let God do the rest. And then I'm going to just close in prayer. Lord, I just invite you to be over this tournament, to help all those who come to have a blast and have a good time, and that many lives are touched and affected through the efforts of these folks and the money they raise to help provide curriculum and people helping them to go to camp and the other items that CSB needs. Thank you for letting me be a part of this. I just ask that you bless Scott and Sam and all the young people that they serve, in the name of Jesus. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. And if you're okay, we need your name. So go over to the Q&A section, click on that, and you'll be able to enter your name. And we will be in touch with you because it's a free weekend getaway. No commitment necessary.
Very good. Thanks for being with us. We kept it under an hour for you. Again, if you're still there, we're looking for under the Q&A over to the left, click on Q&A and type in your name to be entered into a drawing for a getaway weekend. Click on the Q&A and type in your name over to the right.
Well, thank you very much, everybody. We thank you for joining us this evening. The link we'll be able to provide to share with your friends that will be on our YouTube channel, and we'll be in touch with the person who won the weekend getaway. Thank you again for joining us on this live Google Hangout here. We hope the technology didn't mess you up a little bit. It was actually kind of fun. I really enjoyed it, and we'll see you next time. And if you have any questions, again, on the technical aspect, hopefully you wrote down Lauren Griffin's phone number as well as email address. Sam and I believe you know ours. It's sam@camphickoryhill.org and S.Haima, H-A-I-M-A, at csbministries.org. Or go to camphickoryhill.org website or csbministries.org website to find out more information about contacting us. And we hope to see you all on June 6th at Batavia Country Club. Thank you.
Good night.
Good night.